Greetings, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐓 family members. Today we are discussing raising teenagers. I know we started off by discussing growing up with our children and parenting adult children. Then we went all the way back to 0 to 5. In the last video, we were discussing parenting children from 6 to 13 years of old. And today we are covering teenagers. Very, very important. It has a potential of being very, very long, but let's try and manage the conversations. And for me to be able to do that effectively, it's much easier if I read my notes as opposed to, not focusing on them. So there were some crucial points that are essential when we're raising teenagers. And that's so effectively for us to be effective in our way of raising teenagers. One of those issues to take into account is number one is trust is the foundation. I know we've talked about trust before, but it is even much more crucial in the life of a teenager. It's very, very important. So without trust, teenagers won't share important things happening in their lives. They just will not do it. So you have to be somebody who's trustworthy. You have to be consistent in following through on your promises. This is how you validate your trust with a teenager. And you have to tell the truth, even when it is difficult. Teenagers have this intelligence, about their age and their situations around them, that if you lie around them, they will pick it that you are lying, and that will just betray you in as far as trust is concerned. Very important. And keep their confidentiality issues to yourselves unless safety is at risk. So don't just go about talking about them. They won't like it, teenagers. They're very, very personal to themselves. And make it unnecessary for children to lie. Their trust of you as their parent, you telling the truth about your child, must make it not necessary for them to lie. If you have a child who's lying all the time, check yourself as much as you check the child, but check yourself on how your conduct has been around your teenage child. I think this is very important. And the next important issue is before any correction, there has to be connection. Connection before correction. Build a strong relationship first. This makes discipline more effective. If you begin by correcting and then try to connect, they won't want you. You have to connect with them first, and then you can appropriate correction. So spend one-on-one time with them regularly. As much as you can, spend time with them. Show interest in their world without judgment. Guys, children of today are very conscious of this word called judgment. Before you finish a sentence, they will hit you back with "you're judging me." And stay connected even when they push you away, because they will attempt to push you away. But you intentionally stay connected with your child. This will enable you, if you need to then correct, if you have to have difficult conversations, because you're connected with your child. That's what is important. Just having them, given birth to them, is not sufficient for connection. You have to make extra effort. And number 3, understand brain development. Teens' brains are still developing, especially impulse control and judgment. So don't just judge them. This is the basis sometimes where we judge them. They're growing. Remember, they're still growing up. And, impulse control is not fully developed in them. So they will do things impulsively. They will make choices impulsively. You have, as a parent, to understand and don't judge them on the basis of those impulsive decisions happening in their teenage years. Emotional reactions are often stronger due to hormones and brain changes. There's a lot happening in their body as they're growing up, and sometimes they're not able to control themselves. Understand where they are. Risk taking is normal at this age. I mean, if you have children, normal children, this is when they want to do bungee jumping, they want to ride their motorcycles when it is standing upright, they want to do everything under the sun which is high risk. Understand this is the age. And then sleep patterns naturally shift in this age as well. They want to sleep very, very late. They don't want to wake in the morning. Some of it is due to the type of child that they are, but part of that is hormonal growth and development happening in them. There are certain hormones that will keep a young boy awake late into the night, and then you have to watch that so that then you can regularize behavior around that growth phase in their lives. Very important. If you have to happen to have differences, the next important point is pick your battles. Don't just be fighting all the time. Pick your battles. Not every issue needs to become a conflict with your child. As the bigger person, you have to be able to let go of certain battles between the two of you and focus on safety and core values. If they realize that my parent is in my interest, apologies for the wind, guys, it's quite windy. In fact, it's a bit cloudy today. So focus on safety and core values in their lives. Those, when you are telling them this is you will damage yourself, you will hurt yourself, you will end up in an accident, they will appreciate that more than you focusing on what they define as trivial issues. So let small things go to maintain peace for bigger issues. You can't be correcting them every time, all the time. It doesn't work. Let small things go. Allow natural consequences when it is safe to do so. It's almost like you're watching them. And if there's going to be no harm, allow for natural consequences, to happen to them, unless if there are safety issues. And then point number 5, remember they are watching you. Guys, this is very, very important. They are watching you. Model the behavior and value you want to see. You have to model that. You can't be telling them to do this thing right when you are doing the total opposite of that. Teenagers will pick it and they'll come at you with it. Show them healthy ways to handle stress and conflict. You can actually sit down and agree. And this is important because you're growing, you're nurturing them to become the child that you want them to be. Remember, 6 to 13, we said the product that you dreamed about, you are continuing even in the teenage years. So demonstrate emotional regulation. Don't be the one with outbursts of anger, fits of rage, and you expect your child to become composed. It doesn't happen. When they are quiet and you are angry, you are violent, it's not a good sign. They probably are drawing into themselves, and they are beginning to take in a lot of abuse, a lot of anger issues that they can't express at that particular time because of your behavior. So ensure that you demonstrate emotional regulation, so that when they face difficult situations, what is built in their mind is seeing you respond to a potentially volatile situation and you approached it calmly. Then you are training them to retrain their minds so that they respond to life peacefully and with calmness. Apologize when you make mistakes. I know in our culture, our Shona culture particularly, I'm not so sure about my Ndebele relatives, but I know in Shona you are not allowed to, as a mother, to be the one to apologize. In fact, if a child causes you to want to apologize, kuripiswa is a cultural way of controlling outrageous behavior that is not consistent with respect of the elderly. And when you do that, and you don't apologize, your child, you're just nurturing your child to grow up, and they'll never know the word sorry in their lives. For them to know to say sorry, they must see you at some point saying, oh my boy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, my child, I have done this. They hear you, father and mother, saying sorry to each other. Then they will know to say sorry in life. Very important. And then the other point which is important is support independence while maintaining safety. You want for them, you want for them to plan their lives, plan their play dates, allow them to begin to take responsibility for the plans that they want, how life to be. But you have to do so, ensuring that there is safety. Gradually increase freedom and responsibility. Help them learn from their mistakes. When they've made a mistake, make it a learning, opportunity, not a lecturing opportunity. There is a difference. When I have made a mistake, if you come to me and say, oh, I see the way that you've just done this way, there's other ways that you could have done this. I have done this before and it worked for me, and I've seen other people do this before and it has worked out for them. What do you think? And then they'll say, no, I thought this was the best way. You ask them, why do you think it was the best way? Has it turned out the way that you intended for it to be? Engage them in a conversation. Don't come in and say, I knew it. And you'll just close them up and you will never know what they want to do. So you guide rather than control. You guide your children. And they are so open to your leadership. If it is clear and if it is objective, they are very, very open to being guided. And stay involved, but avoid hovering. As a parent, you must be smart enough to know, how to be present and yet not so present. Don't hover around your children. They won't want to, they'll resent you. And yet you must find ways to stay involved. I find sometimes just to know, are you okay? Okay, we are good. I'm going to be sleeping, around 9:30. I'm tired tonight. Do you think you'd have come home around that time? Then they'll tell you, no, I'm not. I won't be back that time. Then you say, okay, so at what time do you think you'll be back home? It mustn't come across as a 10 commandment. You have to be here at 10 o'clock. And it's even an issue about you're raising your voice about it. That's not healthy. They will resent you, teenagers. And then another point, very important point, instill non-materialism. Materialism, we know people want things, they want toys, they want is the word that they use. As a parent, you want to instill a non-materialism behavior in your child and teach them that only through hard work do you gain material. Don't bribe them to love you by giving them money, by giving them material things. Don't bribe them. They will live their lives expecting to be paid for what they haven't done. That's how they are going to be growing up. So emphasize, only through hard work do you gain material. Enable growth by allowing children to follow their instincts under your guidance. Some children will come up with, to you, it might appear, awkward or out of this world type of instincts. But who knows? A lot of artists are like that. Creative minds are like that. They think outside the box. You just need to chaperone that mind, find a way of dealing with them in a way that you're not driving them away from you, or you're not shutting them down. Very, very important. And when you are instilling these non-materialism characters, you want to also allow them, with the little that they have, let them experience how to budget at that age. They're old enough to know if you give them pocket money and it's not sufficient, you would have told them, this is your pocket money for the month, for the week, whatever period you want them to use that money. And you want to tell them what is it that you need to use this money, particularly when they are, around the age of 11, 12, start allowing them to be able to think and to process money, so that when they're teenagers, they will know, Mommy has given me so much money, Dad gave me so much money, I need to save some of it, I have this little project that I want to achieve, I have this thing that I need for myself. They have to begin to deal with money, to develop a healthy relationship with money, not just to behave like you, the parents, are ATMs. They just press buttons and money comes out. It can't work. It doesn't work like that. And then in that process, in that space, allow them also to begin to do small things that will give them little income. That's how you train them to realize that you have to work for money. As in to earn money, you have to work, you have to do something. Tell them not to be ruled by money, but you have to work whichever way you work, you can, if you work hard, in school, you find a job, you will be remunerated. If you work hard in whatever area of your life with your hands and you produce a product, you sell it, you will get some income. They have to know that, they have to learn to do that. And when they've learned to do that, you will find that then they will become non-materialistic. But if you just leave life to chance, you buy them a car, you buy them a motorcycle, you buy them a bicycle, you buy them, they will become very materialistic. And while you're at it, you want to guard laziness in your children. Because if they are not working hard, what are they doing? They probably are just sleeping around at home, because they sleep very late due to hormonal development happening in them. They will sleep very late. Then in the morning, they are tired. If you don't regulate those things, they will actually become lazy. So you really have to watch that out. Excuse me. Also discuss issues of mediocrity. They, at this age, they can begin to want to just do enough. Just enough. Tell them they have to apply principles in life so that they begin to live above the level of mediocrity. Mediocrity is the average. You want your child to begin to go above average in class, above average in behavior, above average in everything around them, so that they don't settle, in the realm of mediocrity in life. Very important. And then at this age, it's very important. Allow for corrections at around, when they are teenagers. They have to begin to know and to realize that we make mistakes. And when you've made a mistake, you will be corrected. And tell them, if they don't receive correction from you in this particular age, the next phase of their lives, they're young adults. And they people really don't care. They really don't care. The lecturers at university will not follow you up with your assignments. Nobody's going to be on your back telling you that your money is running out. You will just find yourself in trouble if you don't adhere to how you were raised up at home. Very important. So begin to emphasize correction at this age. Begin to be emphatic with those corrections as you're making them, because we know to err is human. Share stories from your own life. For when you misused money as a teenager, when you misbehaved as a teenager, it will help them identify with you. It will help them appreciate why you are coming across the way that you are coming across. And you do so by acknowledging your own mistakes. And then sometimes, as parents, we want to come across like we're supernatural, like we never made mistakes, like, we've always been, A-star performers. No, we are not. Even as a parent of a teenager, you can actually say, my dear, I'm really sorry with what I've just done. I know, there's a point that I wanted to bring across, but the way in which I said it, my dear, I'm so sorry. And then they'll say, hey, but Mama, you're always doing this. You say, no. For today, I'm talking about what I did today. I'm really sorry about it. And you also then teach them, don't keep issues. As and every time when you see Mama is going off tangent, just let's discuss that. Allow them to realize that you're willing to be vulnerable. I told you in the videos 6 to 13 that our children, we gave them cell phones at the age of 15. Yes, that's what we did. Because our children have a large age gap, when we gave our son his cell phone, we felt as parents, maybe let's just give the daughter as well at the same time. The behavior that I saw around that with that cell phone, I just called her inside and I said, my dear, I've just made such a huge mistake. And she's like, what have you done, Mama? I said, honestly, even before I tell you, please, will you forgive me? And she says, yes, Mama, I'll forgive you. And I said, we're not supposed to have given you the burden of managing life with a cell phone. You are not that old yet. You don't need it. And we've just done it with your dad. I'm really sorry. It's our fault. We should know better as parents that you don't need a cell phone at your age. And she said, so what do we do? I said, give me back. And she gave me back. I took the SIM card out And she carried on with life until she became 15. The time that I did that, she was 8 years old. And until she became 15, when she would ask me, I'll tell her, it's a mistake that I made when you were 8 years old. You do not need a cell phone. If you need to communicate with friends, if you need to communicate, whatever you need to do, I'll give you my phone. But you don't have to have a cell phone of your own at this age. And that's how we managed things. If I had said, give me that phone, I would have started a gap between us in terms of trusting each other and, being vulnerable with my child. So vulnerability is important, particularly where you see whatever the situation is, there is something that you have to take ownership of and responsibility over. Allow your child to see you in that space. Then it won't be foreign. To be vulnerable won't be foreign to them. Conclusion, guys. And with this conclusion, I want to talk about intentionality. Create good memories, with all of your children in their teens. They will remember these more vividly than whatever sometimes you'd have done much earlier in their lives. You really need to be intentional to create vivid memories for your children. Whatever you did, you might even want to go back and repeat certain memories that they cherished, things you did with them or for them when they were younger. If you can repeat it as a teenager, please do so that it is emphasized and they will remember those good things that they did with you. And discuss parent-child roles. I learned that, with one of our children, that they because of this approach, this parental style, we are guiding them, we are respecting them. Actually, I was going to tell you later on this one that you have to respect them. Sometimes they can read respect as you are now peers. No, you are not peers. You have to discuss. There's something called parent-child roles. And with parent-child roles, there's things that a parent is expected to do. There's things that a child is expected to do. There's behavior that befits a parent. There's behavior that befits a child. It's very important. So that then you will discuss, in this particular trend of thought. I had a conversation with one of my child where I actually said, allow me to be your mother. With however you conduct life, please leave room for me to mother you as your mother. And every time, when she was growing up and she was behaving in a certain way, I'll say, in this moment, allow me my role as a mother. And then she'll say, okay. And then we will discuss whatever it is. If a child doesn't know that there are certain roles that befits a parent, they begin to think that you are peers, they can speak down on you, no, we don't want to allow that. But we also don't want them to grow up not knowing that there are certain things that because I'm your mother, 9 months we were joined together. What I ate, you ate. When I slept, you slept. Because of that join, even if a father does not carry pregnancy, but he bonded with a child, our instincts would tell us, this way that you are going, there's danger ahead. But you have to train them to realize that. And you have to have played your role well for them to trust you to those extents. Very important. You have to earn your child's respect. If you are inconsistent with behavior, if you are hypocritical, if you are deceptive, if you are a pathological liar as the parent, children will pick that. They may keep quiet, but rest assured they will not respect you. They may never even tell you, but they will not respect you. You have to earn your child's respect. When they themselves grow up, they will be able to appreciate that even to them, they have also to earn respect of other people. But if you just carry on with life, disrespectful, deceptive, lying left, right, and center, bribery, you are everything around you behaviorally is you're corrupt in their face. They're not going to be able to be respectful people. So you have to show respect for them to show respect. And when you show respect, you earn their respect. And then you have to enjoy each other. Enjoy teenagehood. I know it's a difficult phase in their lives, but it will pass. And it will pass quickly. Before you know it, they're gone. And then you realize, I haven't even taught you how to cook. I haven't taught you how to do this, how to bath properly. I haven't taught you how to communicate effectively. I haven't told you how to. You need to be mindful of how you conduct yourself as a parent, so that whatever it is you want to input, because after teenage, they're young adults. And most likely, they're gone out of your space. So don't let this time pass without you having input in their lives as much as possible. You will continue to do that, but it's only when you have a good relationship with them that they will allow you to continue to speak into their lives. I could keep on talking, but I want to give you a list of books, and I'll put the links in the description box, that really helped us, growing our children, even from the age of 0 to when they were teenagers. These ones were crucial. I know I gave you some in the last video, but let me just read the list that I have for you here. Living Above the Level of Mediocrity by Charles Swindowl. Our children appreciated this book. Each one of them had a copy, a soft copy for themselves. The Power of a Praying Parent, I talked about it in the previous video. The 5 Love Languages by Chapman. Children need to know, and they need to tell you, Mama, this is my love language, so that you don't waste time trying to love them in a manner that they don't know how to receive love. It's part of who they are becoming, so that as young adults, they already know that, if they have an encounter with love in their lives, they should know how to be loved, because you taught them at home. Don't let adults, your children, grow to become adults. They don't even know that there's something called a love language. If you yourself don't know what a love language is, please read the book for yourself. The 5 Love Languages by Chapman. Also, engage in some very interesting exercises like personality profiling with them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can Google personality profile and take any tool. There are many tools that will help you, so that you know yourself, you know your spouse, you know your children, so that when you are dealing with each other, you don't clash on the basis of different personality profiles. You will understand them because that's who they are to the core. And you will help them become the best version of themselves, because their strengths with personalities, there are weaknesses. And when you know those about a personality, then you will address those issues in each other as a family. And you are strengthening each other. You don't change a child's personality. You affirm the strengths. You help them deal with the weaknesses, so that they become the best version of themselves. We found this very important in our lives. And then the other book that I listed here is The Leading Age, Living with Intentionality by John Maxwell. Guys, it's very important. A child has to know that they have to be intentional to set aside time to study. They have to be intentional to do some piece jobs so that they can have income. They have to be intentional to go to bed early. They have to know the principle of intentionality in their lives, because they are already growing up. If they are not intentional about anything, life will just happen. They will be blown east, west, south by any and everything happening around them. They must know and cherish to be able to be intentional. This is how they will come against peer pressure, because it's predominant in this age, phase, teenagers. They will just follow what other teenagers are doing. They have to learn to be intentional. Very, very important. I'll put the links to these books, and let's read. Let's become the best parents for our children. As long as they are with us and we are able to help them, please, let's go ahead and do that. See you in the next video. Did I tell you that at the end of this month of February, we will do a live? And during this live, we need questions. We need other people to contribute even on this video. Please put your comments in the comment section. Let's be helping each other as we grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day.